Heroes of Cosplay Sanctuary podcast. This is your host, Scotty B. My next guest will amaze you with her work in film, creating shorts on popular characters, including Lord of the Rings, Superman, Wonder Woman, and Sherlock Holmes. Every creation shows you her drive and passion for fandom and art. She immerses herself in characters and becomes what she creates. She's inspired large-scale collaborations, the scope of which are astounding, to produce, direct, write, and edit. She does all of this with ease and proves to you just the seamless works in art and media that I know that you will enjoy see coming together. Please welcome the very talented cosplayer, director, and filmmaker, 221BDisney, to the show.
Hey,
Hi,
I'm
Emily.
like gushing from that. Oh my God. My
Well,
face is gonna fall off.
welcome. And one thing that I did not, mention in the intro is that you were a Disney cast member
Yes,
for a while. You've done things with Disney, and that's
yes.
just so very cool that you've worked at that scale and just yeah. Would you like to start off just by telling us a little bit about your experience with Disney?
Yeah, so I've actually been, well, I was a cast member off and on for about 6 years. And this past year, obviously due to COVID-19, I was furloughed for a while. And I did not get my job back, regretfully. But I found something else. I'm working from home. Everything's great. And when everything goes back to normal, I will go back to Disney. But I used to be a character performer for a little bit. I moved up and I worked into concierge at the Grand Floridian. And then the past role that I had was I was a front desk supervisor at Disney's Animal Kingdom Lodge, which I miss terribly, but yeah, it's all right. We'll get there again.
Yes, it will. We really hope that it all comes back. And it's so good to hear that you are finding something and that even with all of the things that are going on in the world
Right.
today with the economy, that you can continue to contribute and you can continue to create. It's very
Yeah,
important.
yeah,
Um, so if I could go back a little bit further and talk about your origins and your cosplay story and just how you became 221BDisney.
sure thing. So, wow, blast from the past. So, I used to be an like complete avid Sherlock Holmes fan. I still love Sherlock Holmes very much. But he was definitely the first character I really started to cosplay and started to get to like really go to cons with and be recognized for that. And it was really cool. However, um, I kind of stopped after a while because I was like, I know I can do more. Let's keep going on this. So I experimented with Marvel characters such as Agent Carter, as well as Doctor Strange when I had shorter hair because it's kind of impossible to find a perfect wig like that, but that's all right. And I was absolutely moved by their stories and just embracing their stories and being part of that and giving hope to everybody to say, hey, these stories are amazing. Check them out. And if you decide to cosplay, do it. There's nothing that's going to hold you back. Absolutely not. And if you love a story and you're inspired by a character, there's nothing that you can't do with that. Um, and shortly, I think this coming year, I had started to do more things, touch bases on Mrs. Maisel and oh God, I can't even name all my cosplays. Like I'm looking at my closet, but I can't.
Yes, you have a very extensive collection of
Um,
characters that you have created and portrayed. It's very
yeah,
impressive.
yeah. But this past year, my two projects were Wonder Woman 1984, which I was super excited about. I love Kristen Wiig. I had cosplayed her character from the new Ghostbusters film a while back, but I was like, oh my God, like she's gonna be like this awesome character. So I had to wait to see what kind of costumes that they had released for the film. But my true thing was Lord of the Rings. So I was like, I've always wanted to do Frodo. Everybody has been like, Emily, like if you have these big blueberry eyes, like you should do Frodo. Like, you have very curly hair, like you just do it very well. And in that moment, MegaCon Orlando was going to be happening, and I was going to meet the 4 hobbits. And yeah, it was all set
Okay.
to go. I was so excited. But also after that, that's when COVID-19 happened and they started canceling Comic Cons, regretfully. So things happened. I had a lot of time to just work on things. I mean, everybody did at home. And I finally found the pieces for Barbara Minerva, and also Frodo Baggins. I was able to really work on him and get things going. And shortly after that, I came with an idea. Everybody's missing something this year, including Comic Cons and meeting up with people. And we have to find new creative ways to come together. So I had created Lord of the Rings: The Return to Middle Earth, and I had started to get back into filmmaking from my college days and everything like that. And I banded this group of 20 people together to all over the world, and I just said, hey, this is a crazy idea, but we're going to make a film, and it's going to showcase everything that you've got, and it's going to tell a story. And you don't need to talk, you don't need to be scared about that. It's perfectly fine. And I said, send me as many clips as you can between these dates, and I'm going to make something amazing that people will always remember. And Lord of the Rings is such a dear story for me. It gives me so much hope, and there's so much love, and there's so much passion behind every single film that was made, and the books are just masterpieces. And I started to make it, and I worked on it like, oh my God, I can't even tell you, maybe like 10 hours a day for a month. And just gathering everybody's clips together and making teaser trailers and getting stuff out there. And all of a sudden, there it was. And
Reign to rule them all. One reign to find them. One reign to bring them all. And in the darkness, fight them.
Elijah Wood actually got to watch it. I don't know if you
Oh, no, I
briefed a
did
little
not
bit,
know that.
but my sister got me a cameo for my birthday, and I was like, Courtney, like, we're not doing anything for my birthday this year. Please don't worry about it. And I walked into a room, and there was Elijah Wood on a TV just saying, hey, Emily, and I passed out. I was like, oh my God. And after that, I was like, all right, if I can do this with Lord of the Rings, let's do this with Wonder Woman 1984. So I partnered up with Liz Wonder, Addie Rodriguez, and Superman of 14JF. And oh my gosh, we made something really fun and cool. We just got to know each other more and, bounce off each other for cosplay ideas. And yeah, it's just all this extra stuff. And then I started to work on Superman, and just, yeah. So I'm just keep trucking and keeping going. And that's my cosplay story, I think. It's just,
Wow,
sorry, it's long.
no, that's really awesome. It's just so cool that you've brought to life so many different things through film and with so many different people all over the world. It's amazing. I do want to spend a little bit of time talking through each of your projects, going through Superman, Wonder Woman 84, Lord of the Rings, and of course some that you do have on your YouTube channel, which I highly recommend that everyone goes and checks out. There are a few from a while back, including a couple of shorts that you have for Bonnie and Clyde,
Yeah.
Loki and Strange, which I thought were really cool, and even Sherlock Holmes, which I've seen all the new ones. I loved Basil Rathbone way back when. Used to watch it all the time.
Yes.
Big fan of
Oh,
Sherlock.
yes.
Just some of the greatest stuff, and really what they did with the new version with
Yeah, with
Benedict
Benedict.
Cumberbatch
Yeah, it's
is a
wonderful.
lot of
Yeah.
fun. But what are some of the things that you've learned as you've gone? Like if you could say like that you've grown as you've put together each one. Um, how and what have you learned from each production?
Um, I think I've learned really the basis of a team because I like to work alone a lot. I like to, really dive into it by myself, but I've learned that with everybody's collaboration and everybody's talents and combining those together, say, hey, I have sound effects. Do you want to use those? You make sound effects? Cool, let's do that. Oh, okay. You make title sequences? That's amazing. Let's go with that. And just being able to use everybody's work together and giving them that moment to shine is just such a rewarding feeling, really, and just seeing your friends grow in that aspect. Uh, and also learning different programs. I used to have an older computer that had Final Cut on it, which was amazing. But due to it being an older computer and it died, the program didn't transfer over to my next one. So I had to learn something called Premiere Pro, and it's still really cool. And I have a few friends like from the Lord of the Rings group that have been able to assist me with that and make sure that I know what I'm doing. But I've learned a lot from all of them, acting wise, friendship wise, and just professional being wise. It's just an amazing thing that I just this year has been an absolute crazy year.
Oh yes,
But
with everything going on,
it's
it's
just,
great that you can find the positive
yeah.
in everything.
And just, I've learned so much this year about myself and what I can do, even if people are separated, and what cosplay can be right now, with everything going on, being able to give people that moment to shine when they haven't been able to, is so great. It really is. It's so great to see everybody come together again.
Yes, and one huge project where you all did come together, and you've explained quite a bit already about Lord of the Rings and just how much you appreciate, uh, the story, the original Tolkien novel, of course. With this, I mean, with so many people involved, and with being just on a scale of having to reach out to so many people, and then the deadlines and the timelines and all the work that you put in, and of course the recognition that you did get with meeting Elijah Wood and having him. I mean, he watched it, and um, yeah, just if you wouldn't mind telling us about just some of the behind the scenes things that you worked on for Lord of the Rings and continue to, about just your approach and how you outline everything, and some of the challenges and rewards that came with taking on such a huge project.
Yeah, so I knew it was going to be big when I had the idea. I knew that this was an idea that was a one in a million shot here. Uh, and something with these many people haven't been done. It really wasn't done before with Lord of the Rings, especially because I'm not going to say it's a dying fandom, but it's one that you don't hear about, and we're all they're very quiet and not as expressive. So it's like, there are people that love Lord of the Rings and are my age, and they're not being seen very much. And right now, during this time in the world, Lord of the Rings is needed. The story of hope, the story of coming together, and when all is lost, there's still something to fight for and be there for, and just all the chaos that ensued at the beginning of the year with racial injustice and everything like that. Just that feeling, that push, that piece of hope that people needed again, is what I believe Lord of the Rings just really sets the tone for. Of that, obviously it's good versus evil, but it's so much more than that. It's love, friendship, and um, just the story is just absolutely gorgeous. It is. It's gorgeous.
Yes.
It's
Well, and your
yeah,
character, for sure, Frodo, I don't know if the movies do this as well as the book does, but just the extraordinary burden that he takes on with the
yeah,
ring. I mean, it really
yes.
is, it's like a lot worse than the
Hmm.
movies really portray, like
Oh,
just
it's
his
true. Yeah,
total struggle.
absolutely. Yeah.
Uh,
Um, but just messaging these people from around the world, like, of course I was, looking at hashtags and everything like Arwen cosplay. I didn't pick people that, you know, didn't have like that genuine love for like they loved Lord of the Rings, but I really wanted the people that just had tattoos of Lord of the Rings, like had everything, just had such a huge passion for the stories, because that's what we needed. We needed people that believed in this project, and that's the only way it was going to work. So I had messaged at least over 100 people. A
wow.
lot of them,
Okay.
yeah, a lot of them were in lockdown, and there were going to be a lot more characters, but in the end, I had 20 of them, and two of them were actually added at the end. When I had all the film done, there was this Gimli cosplayer. Her name is Marillion Cosplay, and she's amazing. And I was like, I need you. We need a Gimli. We like, thank you so much for responding. Like, we need you. When can you go out and shoot? When can you do this for me? How about next weekend? Okay, cool. We will extend the date of when we're going to have the film be released so you can shoot this piece. And then I had a cosplayer called Old Grumpy Wizard who came in at the end as well as King Theoden. And she actually works with COVID-19 patients and is a nurse. So just having that break in reality, that moment for her to shine and to just be that brave, wonderful character was just such a gift to watch. I wanted to make sure that each cosplayer had enough of the same kind of screen time of what you want to call it. So it was really challenging to get 20 people in and have at least them show up 7 times of those really big monumental scenes, and make sure that the music was absolutely perfect. And just putting it together and just seeing all their love behind this, like behind this project. And when I asked for things to be reshot, they said, yeah, no problem. I'm just like, okay, like I feel so bad, but can you please do that again? It's amazing how they all came together and we created something absolutely out of the ordinary. But I want to say that I am working on another project for the 20th anniversary of The Lord of the Rings with the exact same cast of and more of Return to Middle Earth, and I'm really excited about it. It's going to be very different, a little bit shorter, but very different from what we've just released. And yeah, we're trying to get that done as soon as possible, but with COVID restrictions around the world, we're just trying to make sure that everybody's safe and everybody has the resources that they need to do this project. But yeah, oh,
Sure.
just
Yeah, and we
yeah,
really look forward to seeing that. I think it was really just a unique piece, and well, really a series of pieces that you put together for the return, and that you've continued the story, and that the characters are very apparent, and it's really, yes, the passion certainly comes out with what everybody's doing and how they've been able to recreate the scenes and
yeah,
reenact and become those characters. So it's just and really everybody listening at home, these things are it's no easy task. I mean, some things you're going frame by frame to create some of these effects, to make sure that everything is just the way that you envisioned it. And
mm-hmm.
it's really even harder to do when you don't have something as cool as Final Cut anymore, and you have to work inside of
So
Adobe.
adorable.
um, but yes, I remember when you could actually buy software. It was a lot
Right?
easier.
Oh my God.
But in addition to this amazing project you recently came out with, and when this comes out, the movie will be out. We may not notice because I am relatively certain that Adi Rodriguez and Liz Wonder are these characters, and they probably should have just been in the movie at this point.
They should have, for
And
sure.
of course, your Kristen wig, your Barbara, is fantastic.
Thank you so much.
You have everything down. I mean, it is just a perfect recreation, and just how you really do. I mean, I know it's cliche to say that Liz obviously looks like Gal Gadot. You really do look like Kristen Wiig.
Yeah,
When
that was my big thing with glasses right now and my puffy hair, but it's nice to have facial features that kind of have a resemblance to a character, and it makes things so much easier. It's great, but toying with makeup and the changes in between each of Barbara's outfits are just I'm so excited to see how she evolves throughout the film and what kind of 80s glory we'll see from her. It's just, yeah, I'm sure the costumes are going to be just fantastic. So
but
I'm very excited.
I thought that the film that you put together really did a pretty good job of creating that retro feel, that kind of cool 80s vibe
Yeah,
throughout, and just the way that everything was interwoven, and also how, again, I'm guessing it was a remote project. I know
it was.
um,
Yeah. Got to
you
keep
have
everybody safe. Yep.
but there's just a lot going on inside of what you did. There's just a lot of complexities with creating something like that. Again, Liz and Adi are friends of the show. I know them very well. They're just good friends of
Yes.
mine,
Oh, they're
and
wonderful. They're
so
such
wonderful to
wonderful
work
friends.
with. Their
Yeah.
recreations of the characters are amazing. So how did you find them? I guess one way of putting that. How did you find them,
So,
and then what were the concepts that you were creating?
so I had been following Liz for a while because her Wonder Woman was just it. it I can't. There's no words for it. And just how genuine and how kind she was. I was just posting my first my first Barbara picture, and she commented on it and started following me, and I'm just like, oh my God, like I look up to you. Like you are such an inspiration for me to just I usually cosplay a lot of male characters. So
Mhm.
it's kind of hard for me to really feel like, okay, yes, I can cosplay a lady, like it's gonna be okay. Like you're gonna do great, Emily. But just that extra umph of inspiration was really just remarkable. And around that time is when I finished Return to Middle Earth, and I started to put like more Barbara content out there. And then 80 had commented on one of my pictures. I'm like, oh my God, like who is this? This is awesome. Oh, Liz and her are friends. That's amazing. This is even better. Cool. And then I started to think, I was just sitting on my couch. I literally had nothing to do from quarantine and everything. And the only two things that I would go to would be the grocery store or the state park. And just, yeah, I was very cautious and everything like that. I'm like, I need to work on something else. Like I'm going to go crazy. So
Think about finally having everything you always wanted.
I knew how much passion they had for Wonder Woman. I'm just like, they're gonna say, yeah, this is good. So I reached out to Liz first about the idea. I'm like, hey, I don't know if you've seen my work before, but I love making cinematic cosplay videos. You don't exactly need to speak or anything like that, but I really think we could make something awesome with 80 and yourself. And she's like, yeah, that's good. Okay, all right. She just had a baby, so a lot of stuff was going on, and COVID, and we wanted to make sure everybody was safe once again. And then she had reached to me about Jake, which is Superman. Is it 14 JF, or I always get it wrong? JF 14. Oh,
I think he's
yeah,
JF-14. Yes.
that's
I'm
it.
sorry.
Okay,
Sorry, Jake. I know
awesome.
you've been on the
Yeah,
show.
sorry, Jake. Numbers, letters. Sorry, but Jake, you're wonderful. And Liz was like, "Do you know who Jake is?" I'm like, "No." Well, he's on TikTok a lot, and we do a lot of TikToks. And I'm like, okay. So I checked it out. I'm like, oh my God, he looks like Chris Pine. This is crazy. Um, so I had reached out to him, was like, hey, do you want to be part of our project? Cool. Um, so not a lot of Chris Pine's character was released, so we were like scrambling to find things for him to do, that we kind of had to put to our own imagination, like, okay, this scene happens at the beginning of the film. What's going to connect to the next one? What's going to do the next one? Of course, trailers help with that because they always have like that start to finish sort of thing and never put a beginning clip towards the end of the trailer. I'm a huge movie trailer fan. Like I love trailer music. I love experimenting with all of that good stuff. That's my passion. Like if I could, you know, make trailers for movies all my life, that's what I would do for sure, hands down. We put pieces together. It wasn't as guided. We felt kind of lost because there wasn't. We thought the second trailer was going to come out for Wonder Woman 1984 again, and it didn't. It wasn't released because the movie kept being pushed back to be released at a later time. So we just kind of copied as much as we could with adding our own little personal flair to the trailer to kind of recreate it in our own sense. And yeah, it worked out really well. There was a lot of direction with that and trying to make sure it looked smooth and everybody was kind of in the same spot. Obviously, like filming outside, it's a lot easier to just kind of have that connection because with Lord of the Rings, everything is outside. And it's so much easier because we all look like we're in the same space. But with Wonder Woman, it's a little bit more concrete, it's a little bit more modern, and you have to kind of put those pieces into effect with that. But it was really great, and we got to know each other more, and just our passion behind Wonder Woman and its characters. Just it's a great thing to connect with.
Yeah, and really just fantastic how everything came together. Just it worked out so well, and just really enjoyed all of the characterization and all the creativity that went into that project. And of course, Jake has worked with you on another project where he kind of moved away from Chris Pine and moved into well, not Henry Cavill necessarily, but into Superman.
Yeah.
And he was in a short for Superman with someone who is a very special person for heroes, Astrovoid Cosplay. She was my first guest on the show. Both, of course, were featured in season 1, and Liz is again in the Superman short. But again, it's just a really interesting take, and just how everything came together. There were some pretty cool effects throughout. The trailer was a bit longer than I would have expected. It was quite a long piece to construct. So just from everything from effects to costuming to cinematography and production, just tell me about shooting and some of the details in just coordinating and presenting something that was actually longer, but where I think you had certainly some scenes where you did have to focus on interaction. You have characters dodging bullets, for example, and interacting with each other right there in some street scenes.
Yeah, so with this project, Jake had reached out to me after Wonder Woman 1984 was released and was like, okay, I gotta work with you. I want to create something with Superman. So we had a Zoom call and we were just talking about like what he wanted to accomplish and what we wanted it to look like. So I wrote down, some pieces that he was passionate about. He really loved that vintage feel from the super, well, oh my gosh, is it Man of Steel? Yes, that's it. And just that feeling of Clark on the farm and kind of like that heart that came behind that. course, we were actually going to have, he was thinking about having words in it, more words. And I was like, like it for a cosplay showcase and for what you want to do and how boom, boom, boom you want it to look, we might not have enough. It might not stick with people as much. So I'm like, okay, all right, so we can work with this. So we started with the whole farm sequence, and also we reached out to Astro Boy Cosplay, who's amazing. She graciously accepted the role for Lois. And we made sure that they had quarantined 2 weeks beforehand to make sure everybody was safe. And it worked out great. It was really challenging because yes, they were all together, but I wasn't there. So I had to keep sending a video of myself and how the camera should look and how it should be positioned. I just kept sending them videos like that, and they're like, okay, we'll follow it along as best as we could. Because camera angle when you're working on stuff like this is absolutely everything.
Yes.
If you're
Yeah,
shooting from too far away, too low, too high, it's not going to work. And bring that professional, clean look in the end. So I had worked with someone called No Sleep Till Cosplay, and they create a lot of their own stuff. They have like 3D printers, all this cool stuff. And Jen, who is they're a married couple. It's Nathan and Jen, and Nathan does a lot of more cosplay stuff, but Jen really works on that technical piece. And I'm like, hey, I know that you helped me with Return to Middle Earth, like title sequences. Do you think that you can assist me with making a few special effects for this? And I sent her over the clips, and boom, there it was. Like it was perfect. She had sent me a bunch of, because Jake ran so much. I asked him for so much, and parking garages, like a cornfield, buildings, just everything. I kept asking him to go back out for certain shots because I'm like, we got to do this again. Like it wasn't perfect. It wasn't right on. Like the camera angle wasn't great. Try to get a little lower, try to get a little higher and everything. And he was really, really cool with that. And he knew how much passion I had behind the project and how much I'd been working on it. And I think too, the reason why I had released a longer trailer for that was because all of my followers are kind of like, okay, more of that fantasy side. All right. With the Disney stuff and the Lord of the Rings and nothing really superhero related. So me taking that step even with Wonder Woman was a little scary for me because I hadn't really done any kind of DC character before, which was a little like entering that DC world that I liked beforehand was just so weird to just go into a different section and work with that and have a little bit more modern feel. So I really wanted to demonstrate in that trailer what was to be expected. Like, okay, it is the Superman story, but it's going to look a bit different. It's going to have a different storyline. Of course, the whole Lois Lane and everything and them falling in love, but I didn't want to touch on that too much. I wanted to make sure that Lois had that punch to her that is demonstrated in a lot of her character portrayals throughout the years. But Astro Boy did such a great job with just capturing her spirit and everything just within, what is it, maybe a 6-minute short film. Just, yeah, she gave it all. She fell in the dirt, she crawled, she did everything. And I think it's Find Photography was the she was filming everything and was a really good friend of Astro Void. So I just wanted to make sure that you should have seen how many videos I sent them of me just in my pajamas, like standing in a certain part of the room, like, okay, you need to shoot it from this way or down or up, and move your arm like this when the bullet comes at you. And it's just a lot of make pretend because with Lord of the Rings, you have so many props to work with. But with Superman, like it's all dependent on special effects. So a little bit more modern. So yeah.
Yes, there's no axes or shields or swords or
Nope.
anything fun like that. When it's Superman, it's him moving very quickly and hitting things very hard and lots of laser beams and super breath.
Yeah.
Which yes, it's I guess sometimes when they show you the behind the scenes on the the epic movies that come out from Marvel and DC, and it's literally like they're in green suits with a green screen behind them and they're on treadmills, and you're like,
Yep.
this is how the magic happens, everyone. But it's so cool that you can, and I'm sure like it just sounds like there's so much time and consideration. You shoot something and then there's they send it to you, you send it back to them and say, well, do it like
Hmm.
this. I mean, we're
Yeah.
probably talking about a span of what could be weeks or months. um, I'm not sure how long it did take to put everything together.
That
But
was a few weeks actually. I worked really hard on that. I'm a person, like I said, when I work alone, I'm just like boom, 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 boom. Like I need to go as like not as fast as I can, but put that content out there and get it out there as fast as I can in the best quality possible. And just make sure that people don't lose that interest. Like, okay, you released a trailer 2 weeks ago. Um, what happened? It's just so like I don't want people falling off the face of the earth and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it definitely with everything that has gone on this year, the challenge of making sure everybody can collaborate and the use of technology and just communicating is just absolutely essential this year with any kind of project that I've done. Um, and just how
totally.
grateful I am.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's great.
And you've worked, I mean, you've worked on both sides of the camera very much, and you've directed, edited, and starred in productions that you've worked inside of. Do you find that it's actually easier to work on both sides of the camera, or is it more of a challenge?
Um, I think it depends on the character. I have a girlfriend. She's wonderful. She does literally all my pictures and videos. She's fresh eyes on me on Instagram, but she really pushes me to get into character and everything like that because yeah, I really like the editing aspect and putting all the pieces together. It's like a big puzzle for me. I absolutely love it. I really do enjoy acting and really pushing that extra step of cosplay because sure people can post pictures, but having that extra piece of okay, like how realistic can we get here? How intense can this get? So she's really great at camera angles and everything like that, and just making sure that everything looks as real as possible and that I'm not making absolutely stupid faces when I look scared because we all have our little quirky faces that we make, and it happens a lot with Frodo a lot because he likes to fall.
Yes,
um,
he's
Frodo
the
is
most unfrail, frail hobbit.
mhm.
He
So
does.
any kind of fall, just sometimes I'll look like a ballerina. Sometimes I will absolutely take a face full of dirt. And Alana's like, again, like, no, it didn't look great. Sorry. So she has been an absolute amazing person to work with as well as being my partner. Um, but when I think we met each other maybe 2.5 years ago, um, she had never picked up a camera in her life. But when she picked up like my camera that I've had for cosplay, she was like, oh my God, I need one of my own. I need to keep going. This is awesome. So just working on from the photography aspect to cinematography and putting those two pieces together, um, she's really learned a lot. And I'm so proud of everything that she's done for me because I'm the one always asking, hey, can we go out to the park this weekend so I can shoot Frodo? Can I shoot Barbara? Do you have time? Do you have a minute? Like, so yeah, she really does push that aspect, but I really do enjoy the acting piece and just putting that extra umph in cosplay because sure you can post a picture or anything like that, but videos and just the feeling and that passion that you have behind that character truly does show.
Yes, it's super hard to do. It's super hard to pull off. You do so well every single time that you put on a new character, or you bring one back. One that I'm going to date myself with right now is Annie Potts from the original Ghostbusters. You did Janine Melnitz, and you redid one of my favorite scenes from that movie. There are a few very good scenes with Janine. I
I love
encourage anyone.
Janine.
It's like for me, it's the ultimate story of entrepreneurship. So I just really enjoy the whole and how they created the script and everything. It's such a great story. But there's a scene that you did was and she's so deadpan, where you're interviewing Winston, and they cut some of it out.
Yeah.
They kind of rewrote the scene a little bit because he's like the most overqualified person for this job. He's got like all these doctorates and stuff, and they're like, no, we're gonna do it like this instead. And you nail the whole thing. You ask him like this long list of things that he's supposed to believe in, and it's just such a perfect characterization. So
Oh, I can't wait to get a haircut again and go so I can, yeah, bring her back.
but how do you choose the characters that you create when you're looking at a movie? Like, what influences your decisions?
So it's either how much I have a love for a story, or if someone says, hey, you should cosplay this, you look like them. Um, I used to work in one of the resorts, Disney's Yacht and Beach Club, and we call it operations. So like I'd be the one on the computer in the back all the time, and I had very short hair at the time, and I just actually the glasses that I'm wearing now, um, they're like these pink big '80s glasses, um, and one of my managers was like, Ghostbusters. And I'm just like, what? What are you talking about? He's like, you look like Janine from Ghostbusters with those glasses, Emily. And I'm just like, oh, oh, okay.
We've talked a lot about creativity and expression, and really, like, what do you like about being able to work with cosplayers and being able to bring fan-based films to life with them? And I know that we've kind of already gone through a lot of this. So I guess what I'd like to do is talk about some of this in terms of one of your characters that we have not talked about yet, the marvelous Miss Maisel, and just some things that you've really liked about that fandom and about what you're bringing to her character, some of the great lines that you've recreated. Um, for instance, why do women have to pretend to be something that they're not?
Mm-hmm.
Is a great line that she has. But really, how it makes you feel, and just in bringing these different characters to life, what it means to you and to the people that you work with.
So Midge was someone that I didn't know about a year and a half ago. I have a twin sister. She looks nothing like me. But she was like, Emily, you have to watch this. Like, you love vintage stuff. You love comedy. You have to watch this show. I'm just like, all right, I'll get to it. It's fine. I have a lot of work to do, Courtney. Like, like I'll try. And then my girlfriend and I sat down one night and we watched the first episode, and we just were laughing so much, and just the joy. My girlfriend is Jewish, so she was able to explain to me like all the Jewish jokes as well. So just having that connection with that and the story, just like really pushing everything, that okay, my girlfriend's laughing because of the Jewish jokes, and I'm laughing because okay, like she's hilarious. And just how okay, as a person that cosplays a lot of male characters, having something that is a little bit more okay, yeah, women awesome, it's and just how her outfits are just absolutely extraordinary, her costumes are just incredible, but the way that she carries herself, and um her her jokes are just impeccable, and just how Rachel just really brings those jokes to life. Like you could completely bomb how you say the joke, but she nails it every time. So having a woman that carries herself so great, and okay, she like okay, I might have her face shape a little bit, I have blue eyes, okay, let's get a wig, let's try this, let's go this, all right, okay, and just having that feeling again of all right, Mrs. Maisel is amazing, and I feel empowered when I get to cosplay her and just be able to absolutely not, I can't copy Rachel word for word, or, um, you know, how she brings a joke to life and just lights up a room. But having that confidence and having that way of carrying myself is just, it really did bring a lot of joy into my life. And that show has changed Alana and I's relationship too, because like we can joke about it, like we can laugh about it. And just, yeah, she actually put a little Susie thing together, and we would do some pictures together because we love the show. It's fantastic. Everything about it, every character, even Midge's parents are just, oh my God. Yeah. They're just, every single piece in that series is just brilliant.
Yes, it's really nice, when you find one that is really just kind of a gem on, on Netflix or on Amazon Prime or anything like that, and something that you kind of come across and it just clicks and you feel, like,
Yeah.
I'm glad I sat down to watch this. Like I was kind of on the fence, but here we are, and it's just phenomenal. They did
Yeah.
such a good job, and with that, specifically with Marvelous Maisel, just really do a good job of putting together everything and kind of making it timeless, and just the different, really the delivery of everything that makes it so great.
Thank
Uh,
you.
but as we come to the end of the show, there's one question that I like to ask of all my guests, and it is this: what do you feel that cosplay impacts within yourself?
What a big question. Wow, that's a um cosplay brings out every story that you hold dear. Cosplay brings to life the characters that you absolutely cherish and admire, and whom you aspire to be like, if so. Um, and no matter how you look, no matter who you are, you're able to cosplay anyone that you decide to choose. And it's, cosplay is, can be a really, really positive community to be a part of. And just obviously there are some people that just love picking everything and being absolutely horrible. But to look past that and to see people like myself, like Liz, like Adie, and we, even though we are, public figures, we truly mean that you can cosplay anybody and find that inspiration in any story that you choose, and just bring everything that you have in that love and that passion that you have to that character. Um, and no matter what budget you have, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. Just to show up at a con, or even just show a picture of yourself on Instagram or whatever platform, that bravery that it takes, to really put yourself out there and to not show fear or waver or anything like that, is truly a gift to be a part of a community like that. So just always spreading positivity and always being and pushing yourself to new limits, and really standing up for those who cannot speak for themselves, and making sure that you're keeping an eye out for any kind of negativity towards anyone, and just being that voice that you will always be there for those people, and bringing stories to life once again is such a gift to be able to have time to do. And I couldn't ask for a better community. I started with cosplay maybe 10 years ago, maybe more. And I had a partner at the time, and I felt like I just did it for her, and I wasn't doing it for myself. And do it for yourself. Don't do it for a partner or a couple cosplay thing. Like, that's not the only reason that you should cosplay. Do it for yourself. Empower yourself. Be there for yourself, and do what you want to do. Don't listen to anybody else. And
Yes.
that is
Yes.
my TED Talk.
Well, very well said. Your TED Talk has been amazing, and I appreciate all of your very encouraging and motivational words, all of the work that you put into everything that you've done, all those things that you're going to do is very exciting. What will be coming up with Lord of the Rings, and just all of the different creative work that is yet to come. So exciting, and thank you so much for being on the show, Emily. Where can we find you and how can we support you online?
Well, if you would like, please do follow my page, 221BDisney. Obviously, the algorithm is a little crazy right now, so if you can comment at any time. I also have a YouTube channel. It's 221BDisney. I'm just going to have all my films there. Just thank you so much. Like, even just watching, you don't have to follow me or anything, but oh my gosh, really just feel that passion that we all came together to do, and be a part of. So just thank you so much for just even having me on this show. I never dreamed of doing something like this, just in these circumstances. Just really, truly, like, oh, I could not say thank you enough to you.
Oh, well, it's been just fantastic to have you on the show, and everyone make sure that, and we'll have it in the show notes below, everywhere that you can find 221BDisney. Of course, follow her on Instagram, but also subscribe to her YouTube channel. She has some amazing content going up there, and that is where you're going to find her films and her shorts. Just super cool, and make sure that you hit that notification too, so you can see what she's coming out with when it is uploaded. So
Yeah.
yes, but that is the show today, everyone. Thanks again so much, Emily, for being on the show, and everybody out there listening, thank you so much. This is the Heroes of Cosplay Sanctuary podcast. Bye-bye.